Yeah, we're watching. Yes. Where it's about to stream and though it's dragging. Good. Um, well, you can start. You can
Okay.
start before I join you.
All right. Good morning, distinguished colleagues. It is my honor and privilege to introduce our presenter today in the person of Professor Olubukola Tolulope Adenubi. Is a research is she is a multi-talented she is a multi-talented institute researcher, professor and consultant in veterinary clinical pharmacology, stroke toxicology,
Why is it crashing?
specialty. She attended the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and graduated with a degree in the year 2000. As the best graduating student, she offered veterinary services in private sector for 4 years before joining the service of the Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Funa, in 2005. She obtained an MSc in pharmacology from the University of Ibadan in 2009 and crowned the academic journey with a PhD degree in paraclinical science from the University of Pretoria, South Africa in 2017. She is a certified fellow of the College of Veterinary Surgeons, Nigeria. Professor Adenubi research focuses on precursors of drug development from natural products such as plants and microbial species with the aim of management of economically important disease vector, including the parasitic and infectious disease pathogen of veterinary and medical importance. Her research findings have been presented at several local and international conferences with the notable award including the highly competitive global LO Real UNESCO Award for the top 5 female PhD students in Africa. She has over 60 research articles in reputable local and international academic journals with numerous citations, placing her as an authority in her field of research. Apart from pure academic, Professor Olubukola is involved in leadership and administrative duty, special assignment, and community engagement. She has served as a temporary advisor to the Vector Control Action Group, World Health Organization, and is currently the head Department of Veterinary Pharmacology and Toxicology, FUNAB. She disseminates non-technical material for services of the community through her YouTube channel at Olubukola Adenubi. Here comes our professor and presenter today. You're welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Really great to be here. Um, Good morning, distinguished colleagues. Thank you for the honor of having me. Can you all hear me?
I
You
hear
can
you.
hear
You're
me.
audible. You're audible.
Okay, so thank you very much. We'll go into this very interesting topic shortly. I will just share my screen and we'll continue. Thank you so much once again.
Continue now. Continue.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to share the screen. So I will just, I'm coming. Sorry, we'll soon be there. Um, okay, while I'm trying to get that sorted, you will all agree with me that this is a very apt topic as a topic for the hour and very necessary at this time. Can you see my screen now?
No,
Not
Not
Yet,
yet.
yet.
Okay.
not
not yet.
yet.
Share soon. Okay. Okay. Soon. Okay.
Yes, it's coming up
Yeah,
now.
it's
It's
coming up
coming
now.
up.
Okay. Okay.
Fantastic.
Can you see it now?
Yes, but you have to, okay, yes, fantastic. It's up
Yes,
now.
fantastic.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much. I am Bukola Adenubi, as we have said, and it's great being here with my distinguished colleagues. Thank you for having me. The topic for today is actually a topic of the hour, a topic of the time, a topic that is really necessary at this point in time, and it couldn't have come up at no other time than now. It says prescription or poison, the dangerous link between feline drug choices and kidney failure. We are veterinary doctors. We are licensed to prescribe. Prescription, as we know, is a written or electronic instruction to our patient on how or when to take a drug. And as veterinary doctors, by the time we took that oath, um, raising up our hands, I, Olubukola Adenubi, I will do this, I will do that. We have been licensed to order to give prescriptions. And I know this in this particular group today we have doctors that took oaths just as early as last year, and we have doctors as early as 40, 50 years ago, and we're all together on this table today. So you will know with me that there's no other time for us to discuss together on this. Prescription or poison? Poison, what is poison? Anything we give that will cause harm. So, as veterinary surgeons, when it comes to cats, are we actually prescribing or are we poisoning this species of animals? So, why cats? Said for this topic, we're going to look at why this topic. Why cats? What is special about cats of all the species of animals that we have to bring them separately and talk about them today? And then what are the anatomical, physiological, and biochemical uniqueness of these patients? What are the drugs of concern? What do we do? What should we not do? And what is the way forward? We're going to be critically looking at all this today. And I said, well, this is cat o'clock, as I've said. The time is now. Cat ownership has experienced and is experiencing a notable rise worldwide. Professor Dr. Ibe, when we started, when we were chatting this morning, he said cat owners have increased, but he doesn't know why. And today we're going to know why, because gone are the days in our practice before when it was basically, especially in small animal practice, when it was basically just dogs, dogs, dogs most of the time. For every dog that comes in now, there's a cat that follows. Why are we having that? Literature says about 76% of pets owners own dogs, and cats are closely catching up. As at 2025, we are having 59% pet owners having cats. In almost every home where there's a dog now, there is a cat. I will use my tenant as an example. I have a tenant that has been there for like 3 years, and he has two dogs, two big Rottweilers. And a new tenant just came in last year, and he has two cats. And I was wondering, I hope there will not be any problem in this house. And luckily, they have been together for 1 year now and have not had any complaints whatsoever. So that means that even now, dogs are beginning to live and learn to live with cats. Also, there's a shifting cultural perception. The days of cats being the witches, especially the black cats being the witches, is fast going. And because of the social media influence, you have so many videos now that portray cats in very good light. And there's that shift now, especially among the Gen Z, the younger people in their 20s to 24-year-olds, 26 are owning cats. Just yesterday, there was an interview of a lady, a young 26-year-old lady in Ilorin that sells cats. And she says a foreign breed of cat goes as high as 4 million naira. So you can imagine people are buying cats for as much as 4 million naira. And there's an increase in the trade of cats. There's an increase in international trade of cats nowadays. Another reason is urbanization and convenience. You know, in the days of old, people used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they used to have cats. They used to have cats in their house. And they us
Okay.
Is Prof still online? Or
No,
am I the one?
she's not. She's online, but we have lost her voice. She's online, but we lost her voice.
Prevent and treat diseases in animals. And though cats and dogs have similar body
Well,
systems.
we lost your slide.
You have lost my slide, okay?
Yes.
Okay, let me see.
We lost you while you were talking about the fact that cats are now being sold and bought easily. Are they?
Okay. Okay, let me get back to it.
But we need to see your slide. Your slide is explaining a lot of things.
Okay. Let me know when you have seen it. I'm trying to go back there now. Sorry. Okay. Let me call someone to help me. Yeah, let's see what's happening here.
I think we lost her.
No,
Okay, I'm here. Can you see me?
right.
Yeah, we lost. We are not seeing your slide.
Okay, I'm trying to put it back now.
Yeah, I think it's
Can you
coming
see
back.
it?
Yes, it's
We
coming
are
back.
seeing your slide. Yes, we are seeing but the slide. Okay. It
It's
left
okay,
again.
You have lost it again?
Yeah, we've lost it again. Yes.
Okay, we'll get it back now. I've called on someone to help me check what is happening.
Yeah, it's your slide now. We are okay now. It's coming on. It's on now. Yes.
Okay.
It's off.
Okay, so I can
It's off
continue?
again. It's off again.
Okay, okay. I won't use my I'm trying to see what is causing the problem. You can see it now, right?
It's about to come. Yes, we are seeing it now.
Okay. Okay, so okay. So okay, so that is so with the increase in cat ownership,
You can put it on
there
slide
comes
two.
an
Sorry, Prof.
increase in
Put it on slide.
cats being presented to us. And vet medicine, as we know, relies heavily on drugs to relieve pain, prevent and treat diseases. And one of the first mistakes we make as veterinarians is treating cats as if they are small dogs. But cats are not dogs. Though they have similar body systems and their disease processes show similar patterns, there are critical differences between them. And these critical differences are very, very necessary in our choice of therapy. So we're going to be looking at these critical differences, and no, we must always bear in mind when you see a cat coming into your clinic, bear it in mind, a cat is not a dog. And for us to go into treatment, I always say I'm a pharmacologist, but before you treat, always have an adequate diagnosis. Agree with me that use of drugs may not be the treatment. I hope I'm right on that. You may not have to treat, you may not have to give a single drug to treat an animal. There are several things you need to consider when you're talking about treatment. And one of those things, always have your diagnosis right. Okay. So I'm not putting it on slideshow because when I take it to slideshow, it goes off. So I hope you can still see.
We can see it. Go ahead.
Okay, yes, we can.
You can, yes. So yes, if I put it on slideshow, that's why it's going off. So that's why I'm not putting it on slideshow. So from when we're talking about diagnosis in cats before we go into treatment, there are so many things you need to take care of or take cognizance of. And one of the first things is actually from your history. From the moment a dog or a cat comes into your clinic and you are taking history, you are writing down the information from the client, you have to take note of what the client is telling you, because that will help in your diagnosis and that will help in your treatment. We must note that first, cats are obligate carnivores. They need meat. They need meat or a meat source in their diet, compared with dogs, which are adaptable, more adaptable for different forms of diet. So you need to get that information right by the time you are talking to a client to help you to know what you're dealing with. And cats need a much higher protein source in their food than dogs. You need to take note of that now. And dogs can synthesize their own taurine and beta carotene. They can convert the carotenoids in food. They can convert it to vitamin A for their need. Cats cannot do that. They cannot convert all that from food. And pain expression is more obvious in cats. In dogs, when a dog has a problem and you are during your examination and you are palpating and all that, a dog can easily show sign of pain for you to know what is happening. But when it comes to cats, cats are more subtle, and you need to know that in your diagnosis before you move into your treatment. Another thing you need to note during your history, your clinical examination, and to know samples to take is also the fact that cats are more adaptable to new environments. You need to take note of that. Dogs are more adaptable. When it comes to cats, cats are highly territorial and they are more prone to stress. So when you're handling, there's what we call stress hyperglycemia in cats. When you're handling cats, you need to bear all that in mind so that what you'll be seeing, you are sure that is actually the disease and not something that is due to how you are handling them. Even from your reception, you need to keep cats away from dogs, because if you keep them all together, there's already a form of stress that I'm sure many of us would have noticed that by the time we get to discussion, you would have noticed that if dogs and cats are together in your waiting room, there's already a form of stress that can actually show in the clinical signs that you are going to be seeing in the cat. That's got nothing to do with the the disease you are talking about. And then, so you also need to use low stress handling techniques to reduce aggression in cats. We talk about the burrito method, where you make use of a towel and just to keep the cat as calm as to keep the calm as cat as possible. And for cats, as much as possible, we say home-based treatment is maybe preferable, because they are more, as I said, they are more territorial and they love their space. So you may be able to get what is more in, you'll be able to see more of what is wrong by the time you're able to explore their immediate surroundings. And then when you have not arrived at an accurate diagnosis, I am talking about emphasizing on diagnosis for cats, because for cats you can't just use drugs anyhow. So you need to be sure of what you are dealing with. Cats have unique physiological and metabolic characteristics that make them particularly sensitive to drugs. So if for any reason you are using an inappropriate drug or incorrect dosing for cats, it can be very, very fatal. And that is why we are talking about the topic, prescription or poisoning, the dangerous link between our drug choices and kidney failure. We have to understand the relationship between drug selection and kidney health in cats. And it's very critical for us as veterinarians. It's very critical for us even as veterinary students. And it's also critical for every pet owner to know. Because we know that in Nigeria, many times pet owners actually give their drugs, their pets, medications at home, even before presenting to the cat to the clinic. Dogs are more forgiving when you are giving them drugs at home anyhow. But for cats, it can be very, very devastating. So why? Cats, when it comes to, if I want to take us back to our drug metabolism in school, there's what we call the pharmacokinetics of drug and what we call the pharmacodynamics of drug. Pharmacodynamics is what the drug does to the body. Pharmacokinetics is what the body does to the drug. And if you can remember in our drug metabolism, then there's what we call the ADME in pharmacokinetics. Absorption, when a drug is taken by any route at all. There's absorption, how it goes into the blood circulation. There's distribution, how it is taken to all the different sites of the body. There's metabolism, how the drug is actually broken down into the active form that carries out the pharmacologic or the physiological effects that we expect. And there's what we call the excretion. That's how a drug is a chemical substance. It shouldn't stay in your body forever. So there must be something, the drug must be broken down and it must be excreted through different routes out of the body. And that is what drug metabolism is about. For cats, for metabolism, we have two main phases. The phase one, where the drug is being broken down into drug metabolite that carries out the effect. And there's what we call the phase two, where the drug is broken down and is being excreted. For cats, there is a problem. They have a problem, a natural problem with phase two. And if you are not using drug rightly for cats, you can see phase two is very, very critical for excretion of the drug. If you are not using drug right, the right drug at the right dosage for the right patient, you are going to have a problem at this point, and the drug will not be excreted. What happens when a drug is not excreted? Of course, it's going to accumulate. This takes us to the next slide. Said cats, what is unique about them? They have a reduced activity to perform glucuronidation, and that glucuronidation is the phase two aspect of metabolism and is a process that helps the body eliminate many chemicals and drugs. If you are giving drugs that actively depend on glucuronidation, this pathway, they were going to accumulate in the bloodstream. And after some time, this accumulation can reach harmful levels. And this can cause either a severe acute problem of the kidney, or it can lead to chronic kidney disease. The question is, are we prescribing safely? Let each one of us begin to look back at all the times a cat has been presented before us, and let us begin to think back. Are we prescribing safely as we go on? Another thing about the cat physiology, we have said in the liver is the main organ of metabolism. And we have said they have a problem with the phase two metabolism. The kidney is the main organ of excretion. I hope you have seen that link, liver, kidney. The kidney is the main organ of excretion. And for cats, there's something unique about them too. They have highly sensitive nephrons and they produce urine with a high specific gravity. For them too, their kidneys are low regenerative capacity. So we can see that is a case of double wahala for dead body and the owner of dead body. This is a case of double wahala. They have a problem at the liver stage, they have a problem at the kidney stage. It's a natural phenomenon for that species of animals. You tell me that cats are generally very interesting animal species. They have so many things that is just them alone. Now only them waka come in their physical characteristics, and that's just one thing about cats. Low regenerative capacity. Another major thing, before the clinical signs start showing, they will have lost 65 to 75% of kidney function. So before you even know that, oh, you are killing this cat, or I'm killing my cat, or something is wrong with my cat, it has gone far. So you see why we really need to be careful and why this topic is really necessary at this time. Another thing, which drugs? We have said there are drugs that mainly use the glucuronidation pathway. Phase two, they will have problems metabolizing that drug. There are several of them that we use in our practice. And because we have used them so well in dogs, when a cat is just presented, it's just business as usual. But we need to know there are cats, there are drugs that should be used with caution. If you have to use them at all, make sure you are using the right dose. The dose, that's the right concentration, the right route, the right duration, the right frequency, how many times a day, and the right formulation when you are using any of these drugs. Paracetamol, we can't talk, we can't overemphasize on paracetamol, and it's mainly what, especially clients, any small thing, they just go ahead and give the human formulations. But as I said, dogs are more forgiving. As more and more people are owning cats, they should know that paracetamol, as apart from hepatic liver problems that it can cause, is also highly toxic to the cat kidney. Then non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. They reduce prostaglandin, as we know, because they inhibit COX-2. That's their mechanism of action, cyclooxygenase. If you are to, try to remember our pharmacology, and this can also compromise blood flow. If you are reducing prostaglandin, it will compromise blood flow to the kidneys. And of course, we have talked about the cat kidney being very sensitive. So anything that we feel that is going might cause a problem to the cat kidney, we should try to avoid it. We also talked about a systemic antifungal agent, amphotericin B, very good for systemic fungal infections. But one known adverse effect about amphotericin B is the nephrotoxicity. Is highly toxic to the kidneys, and of course, we should limit its use in cats. And then anesthetic drugs. It's been said that 60% of anesthetic-related deaths in cats occur during the recovery period. We can say a whopping 60%. Because cats, by the virtue of their anatomy and the physiology, by the time you're lying them down and all that for surgical procedures and all that, they're already prone naturally to hypotension and hypothermia, reduce blood pressure, reduce them temperature. So we have to note all this by the time we are giving anesthetic drugs and sedatives to cats. As we go on, we're going to look at more feline approved and more feline safe options than that we can get. And then another major aspect we need to look at also in cats is the area of fluid therapy. Cats, by virtue of their characteristics, are very prone to dehydration because they have a lower test drive. They might not drink water so often as in dogs. So they are more prone and they are more sensitive. By the time they have a lower test drive naturally. So if there's anything, diarrhea or anything that is making them lose water, they're going to be more prone and more likely to come up faster with dehydration. And they're more prone, as I said, to undetected. I've said it earlier, chronic kidney disease in cats, about 75% of the kidney is already gone. So by the time you're administering fluid therapy in cats, the margin of error, if you're not calculating the dose, the daily loading dose, and the maintenance dose that you need for cats, if you don't calculate it very well, the margin for error is very high. And if you are just using all your calculations based on dogs and you're not thinking of the fact that cats have a lower blood volume, the margin of error is very, very high. And you begin to see signs of fluid overload, which is very, very rampant also in cats. For many of us that are in full-time feline practice, I'm sure by the time we get to discussion and you talk about your experiences, you will have noticed one or two things that I'm talking about here. And then as we go on to, we are also going to see signs of fluid overload in cats. Another area is a blood transfusion. This is an emerging area. We are beginning to do a lot of blood transfusion in cats, in dogs, and I'm sure there's going to be an increase in blood transfusion in cats too now, because if a person buys a cat for 1 million naira, as they said, cats are being sold now, foreign Persian breeds of cats. I buy a cat of 1 or 2 million naira. Of course, if there's an emergency that needs a blood transfusion, I will very well want my cat to have a blood transfusion. And we need to note too that when it comes to blood transfusion in cats too, it's something that we have to take note too. That cats are born with naturally occurring antibodies against other blood types. There are three blood types in cats, as against dogs that have about over 8. I think some say 8, we have up to 12 and all that from literature and all that. But cats have 3, and each one stands alone, and they are born with antibodies against each. So if you are transfusing in cats without a cross matching, it could lead to a fatal reaction. Unlike dogs and humans that have universal donors, blood donors, cats do not have universal donors. So you need to have the specific blood type to match the cats that you want to infuse. And for most times, blood transfusion in cats is actually fresh blood, as against that of dogs, humans, in which you can actually have a blood bank and that can be stored for much longer. I'm sure maybe later, in later years, with more research and going on, we might be able to store cat blood too for much longer. And then, how do we know? We have said all these that can cause kidney injury, and we have looked at the different aspects, physiology, biochemistry, anatomical, that makes cats actually prone to kidney injury. How do you now know if there's a kidney injury, maybe in your use of drugs and other disease conditions that could make the cat prone to um, kidney injury? You have, by the time you start noticing lethargy, vomiting, increase in water intake or taste, increase in urine production, urination, when you notice dehydration or there's a bad breath, halitosis, when you're noticing loss of appetite or weight loss, continual weight loss in the cat, you might begin to question that something is wrong, especially maybe a cat that is on long-term non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. You may begin to notice that there's something wrong somewhere. And if there's a fluid overload also, which I said cats are very prone to, you can begin to see sudden cough or nasal discharge while you are administering the fluid, or rapid breathing, or restlessness when you are giving a fluid and the cat is being so restless, cannot lie down, is just all over the place, or where there's like a build up or swelling in the cat, you begin to see that there's a fluid overload and there's an acute problem with that kidney. And how do you now diagnose? Of course, from your clinical signs, what you're seeing on the table. And if you do a blood chemistry too, you begin to see an increase in creatinine, or you begin to see an increase in blood urea nitrogen. From your something as simple as urinalysis, your strip test, you can see if there's a change in the protein content or the specific gravity. You begin to see that there's a problem somewhere. And from your imaging techniques, from your scan and all that, you can see if there's an alignment of the kidney, or something is getting wrong with that kidney. Something is getting wrong with that cat. The doctor, is it something you are doing wrong? You begin to see all that on your table. And what are the treatment and management strategies? Of course, the first thing, stop the offending medication. Once you've noticed that it is something that you're doing that is causing that, please just stop and begin to ask yourself, what is wrong here? How can I correct it? And sometimes you might just begin to make a dose adjustment. At least now we are in the internet world, where you can easily just go online and check what dose is right here. This is a feline patient that I have here. This is what I'm doing. How do I adjust my dose? You can do all that. And then, as I said, we have talked about drugs that are nephrotoxic. So avoid using drugs that combinations and all that can actually cause a um, nephrotoxicity. And then use feline approved drugs. I'm going to that next. And then consider multimodal pain management. By multimodal, I means what other modes can you use to manage pain, in which you now have to reduce the dose of this particular drug so that you can add it like a combination drug therapy. In multimodal drug management, you reduce this and then do this so that you can have a better management of the pain. It could be massage, it could be other cold massage, cold press, other things that you can use so that you can reduce the quantity of the analgesic drug that you're giving. And then you monitor closely. I said fluid overload can actually occur. So you monitor closely for the hydration status. Once you have achieved the hydration level that you need, you can stop the fluid. You don't say, oh, this cat must take 300 mils or it must take the whole 500 mils. No, once you have achieved your hydration, you stop. And then you always check for adverse drug reaction. We have mentioned the signs that you could see to show that there's an adverse drug reaction. So you monitor, and if you are seeing that, please just stop. And there are times when you just need supportive therapy. You might just, if the cat is shaking, feeling cold, you might just need to wrap up with a blanket, provide warmth, or any other thing, or keep in a shade, or just minimize stress, or anything you need to do for the cat. And then what are the prevention? Of course, for us to prevent this, part of it is the awareness for which we are here for. Let's be aware. Let's educate other doctors with us, or and our veterinary students. Let's evaluate the risks. There's what we call the risk benefit ratio for every drug that we use. So always measure the risk benefit ratio. What's the risk for me using the drug? If the benefit outweigh the risk, then you can always go ahead with that drug. And then accurate dosing. In medicine now, we are going for individual therapy, individualized therapy specific to that patient. And that's what, as is improving in human medicine, is also improving in veterinary world too, whereby you prescribe and dose based on the patient before you. And as I said earlier, you monitor kidney function. You taper the dose, especially if you are using it for a long-term therapy. Always ask for a routine checkup so that you can monitor and know that there's no adverse drug reaction. You can monitor the kidney of that patient, and then always ensure that cats are well hydrated. Once you are giving drugs, remember to tell the clients to always make sure there is dog water available. Cats are not finicky drinkers, so you have to make them drink. Always make sure water is available for them during treatment. And I just mentioned some feline approved drugs that are available that we can get. And I said for anesthetic combinations generally, I think it's better we go for a balanced anesthesia, whereby you can reduce um, the dose of you can, the sedative that you use before the anesthesia, your combination, so that you make it as safe as possible. And for cats also, we encourage more of gaseous anesthetic agents so that at least the gas is excreted almost at the same rate at which it's being absorbed. So as I said, 60% of anesthetic emergencies occur during recovery, because maybe if you are giving a drug and you feel, oh, it's not working, and or the cat was becoming conscious and you were busy giving more of the maintenance dose, it's going to take a longer time for the cat for the drug to clear out from that cat. And that's why most times you now have um, emergencies during recovery. So gaseous anesthetic agents is advised so that it can the clear out and recovery rate can be faster. So, and then our clients are major. As I said, dogs are more forgiving. Cats can get away with so many things when it comes to dogs. They might not get away with so many things when it comes to cats. So as more owners are becoming cat owners, which they were not before, and many times they will treat their cat like their dog, especially those that have had dogs before getting a cat. They are most likely going to treat their cats just the way they treat their dogs. So please always advise, especially a new cat owner, on the cat diet, the cat's housing, the characteristics of cats, and other things they need to know. And that they should always report if they notice anything wrong or anything not out of place. They should report early as possible. So, what are the thoughts for the day? I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that not all prescriptions are safe for cats. Kidney damage can be silent, but is deadly, whether it is acute or chronic. Responsible drug use, rational drug use starts with us as veterinarians. I cannot overemphasize that. So, what have we been doing so far? Is it prescription or poison? What are we doing from henceforth? The choice is ours. Let's practice feline safe pharmacology. Thank you, and the discussion floor is open. Thank you for your listening attention.
Yeah, thank you, man. Honestly. Where I know everybody is doing thumb up to you. This is a well-researched topic. I don't know whether professors research these days. Give them topic, they think of head, they deliver. The bottom line is that they deliver because they've been in it. Thank you. This is the time for comments and questions, but I don't know whether Professor Mudashiru Professor Rowolo would add a pep talk here before Mudashiru will unmute himself and then Professor,
Well,
the
yes.
oracle of veterinary pharmacology. I don't know whether I have something to add or subtract. Then we'll move
Can
on.
you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
Prof.
okay. Well, I did not regret that the book is giving this lecture this morning. It's been excellent. Um, book is in
Thank you,
Funa.
sir.
I was in Funa briefly before I left after my retirement from UA. But looking at the topic, I just felt she's the right person to speak on it. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm very satisfied with this presentation. I mean, it's covered almost everything. I know that practitioners in the field may have a T to cross or an I to dot, but be that as it may, I think the discussion should continue. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Who is Dr. Mudashiru Adedeji? Okay, you can unmute yourself. Hello?
All right.
You can
Hello.
unmute yourself and then.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you should be audible.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mudashiru Adenubi. First, I want to say that I am happy to see Professor Arowolu after a long time on a program like this. I want to appreciate him for what he has impacted into us. Also, the delivery of Professor Bukola, who is my teacher, is not surprising. She has just taken me back to the good old days when she was actively training us. And I deem it fit to make this comment that the delivery is holistic, and I appreciate the reminder. In addition, I would like to ask Prof if there would be, it would be out of place to form a kind of an organization that will be in charge of the crusade for enlightenment for the general public on things like this. Because as veterinarians on the field, when you play your part, complications set in by the virtue of self-medication and the rest. So if there's a general enlightenment or there's an organization handling something like this, I think it will also help us in the right direction. So it is my opinion. I want to know what Prof's opinion is about this. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. I think the ball is now in the court of Savannah. There are associations responsible for small animal medicine, and the cat, I think cat is part of small animal medicine. So, Bukola, please, you are very close. You are very close to Savannah. You can talk to them to give us enlightenment further on this, as Dr. Mudashiru Adedeji has prescribed. And
Okay,
then
sir.
when we are dealing with cats, pussycat is not only cat, which we all know. We are dealing with the animal in the feline family. That's the Felidae. The large cats are among. They follow the natural sequence in biochemistry, physiology, and whatever. And he did a lot of things. She talked about cats, as this was says a pussy cat, small one, when she was talking about the overload in supportive therapy and in fluid therapy. Anyway, there's a wide gap. There's a wide gap between the large cat and the small cat. So if you are dealing with the small cat, fine. But if you are dealing with the big cat, I think there is another dimension to it in terms of dosage and what have you. But the bottom line is they're all the same. They have the same physiology. And anyway, when you are doing, I think IV has a lot to do with body weight. So if the body weight for the smaller one is then the same thing with the bigger ones. Whereas I'm talking about concentration of drugs, should be the ones, bigger ones, for the bigger ones. But be it as it may, please, we need more comments. We need more comments. We need more questions. As somebody said, we need to check the kidney function status before administering an anesthetic agent. That is fine. And she said that it's not all anesthesia you give. Anesthetic agents you give cats. There are some you give them, it's like you are euthanizing them, or you are giving them, you are creating iatrogenic consequences. So we need more questions. IK Bokwe is raising his Prof, please. Please, Prof, unmute yourself, which is you're muted already. We want to pin you down here. Yeah, you can ask your question or make your comments.
Mine is more of a comment. It's the renal failure in cats has been identified to be an epidemiological problem right now, but I don't know whether there is whether there are data on this to address. But if there are, I think we would like this to be in public domain.
Yeah, tell me how.
So that we can properly look at the risk factors, whether it is closely associated with therapies, infection, environmental toxicosis, genetic factors connected with those that have brought in. So we need to look at various things that are involved, so that when we are handling it, we are approaching the problem, we are approaching it from a very clear professional perspective. It's adequately done. I know that environmental toxicants that are there in Nigeria. Very, very common in the environment. And, cats, if they are not fully home cats, well, they do a lot of scavenging. Mouse are there. Some of these mice can accumulate environmental toxicants, heavy metals and things like that. The cats may also be sensitive to them. So we have to have a scientific approach to looking at the problem, assess how much of the problem is in the population, and what are the risk factors, clearly identify whether the risk factor is heavily tilting towards drug therapy, so on and so forth. We don't see much of too many cats around our park, but I know there are places where feline parks is very easy. We need to look at the data they have, let them keep data. In the practice now, I don't know whether the cat, especially when one is having a high-profile client, it's better to do profiling of renal status, seen as the feline patient is registered in your clinic. I think that would be a very good starting point. Do quarterly or yearly checking renal status within practice. The cost may not be, but if there's anything that is not as early as possible. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prof. So we need more comments. We need more reaction. We need more comments. We need more reactions, please.
Before we comment.
Yeah, we recognize the presence of Dr. Gani Nahoru, one of our former MVMA president and a current serving member and two-time member of Veterinary Council of Nigeria. He's here with us. You are welcome, sir. I've recognized the presence of Dr. Fadi, the registrar, Professor Hussein Makum, Professor Arowolo, Professor Ike Bukwe. We are all welcome to this phenomena. I know this is phenomena. Please, we need more comments, if there is any. You're a chat box. Yeah, in absence of comments, what do we do? This is a heartwarming. I think this topic will not end today.
She can react to some of the comments we made, she can react to some of the comments we made, especially where if there is any data concerning the
especially when we talked about the large cats.
Prevalence,
yeah, and all the other comments, yes. So you can react, ma'am.
Yeah, I didn't really hear what he said. Can you please restate it? If there's any data on what? The question
Prof,
is if there's any data on
renal conditions of cats around within the country.
The renal what?
No, he's talking about the whether there is data on renal conditions of cats in the country.
Okay, renal condition of cats in the country.
Yes.
No, because I know Nigeria, we are generally underreporting is. No, I didn't see that. But I could check again. But I checked for something like that, but I didn't see. But I know generally in Nigeria, there's a lot of underreporting.
So why can't you research? Why can't researchers plunge into it as research topic for postgraduate or PhD students? and
Okay, that
run
would be
a national data.
master's or PhD level.
Yes,
Okay,
analysis. On
okay,
using cat
okay.
urine to check the
Yeah,
status, and then come out with it.
okay.
Because you see, I was why I got this. You know, I'm in poultry medicine and I'm a trader. I plunged. I went to Enugu on a mentorship drive, and one vet told me that the high rate of kidney failure in cats is so high. Sorry, the rate of kidney failure in cats is so high, and there is a spike in people using cats these days, trying to even domesticating cats. You know, as if to say, I know most cats are semi-intensive. They are now intensifying them now, bringing them the house and stuff like that. So because of that, and then they are plunged into it. But I felt him right inside me, being that they are small animal practitioners. They're handling cats as if to say they're handling dogs, which they are used to, and they are running into this problem. That necessitated me to speak to Professor Aruolo, and Professor Aruolo recommended Bukola to us.
Yeah.
So
I think with
I
this
think there
increase
is.
now. Okay.
Mm,
Hello, sir.
yeah, continue.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think with
continue.
this increase in cat ownership and realizing this problem now, as you said, is something that we researchers need to look into. So
Mm,
I'm sure I will. That's for those of us in medicine and in pharmacology. I will note it too to the um, and public health, because I know, like now, what one of the studies we are looking at is looking at reporting of adverse drug reactions, which we see that
mhm,
is really poor in Nigeria. And this is
mhm.
actually something again too that we can actually look into, as we said, because now cats are presented daily, unlike before that maybe you see a cat in 1 month, but now in practice you see cats daily. So it's something we will actually look into. Thank you for
And
bringing
then
that to
and
our
then there should
notices.
be a collaboration with UI, because they have a very I think they have some white big cats in their zoo. There should have
In
been a
the zoo, yeah.
collaborative so that by the time you inch into the pussycat, it might give you a wider spectrum on wild uh, bigger cats, on what to do with wild
Yeah,
bigger
bigger
cats.
cats.
Yes. So we are
Yes.
trying to unenvelope a research, a very good research topic on cattle. In fact, the young man told me, I told him that one of the cats died in my a mother cat died in my farm with 6 kittens. And before you know it, they were up to 100 cats. You know, this they can give birth like mad. So, and I was killing them and throwing them. He said, but then I folded the farm because of banditry in the north. He told me that each of those cats he can sell me 40,000 naira for me. 40,000. Because the demand is so high. Maybe you should start breeding cats and start selling cats. He said this is so high. Many the people want it. And then he started telling me about kidney failure. But by the time he told me about kidney failure, by my elementary knowledge in pharmacology told me that it's not the treatment of dogs is not patterned the way with the cats. Because of what you said about their biotransformation, which I don't want to go into before I start messing myself up. Because people who all know better than me are here. So, but we didn't hear much what you say about glucuronidation, because your voice was cracking. Can you recycle again what you said about glucuronidation?
Okay.
Hello?
Let me see. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we are hearing you.
Yeah, what I was talking about the metabolism that occurs in the liver. So I said basically there are two phases of metabolism. There's a phase 1 metabolism and then the phase 2 metabolism. Okay, there's the phase 2 metabolism. So phase 1 actually deals with the oxidation, reduction, and it's
We're not hearing you, man. Anytime, I don't know. Anytime we come to this period, we are not okay. Okay. We have seen your picture. You went off.
okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. So I said
Yeah, so I
metabolism.
said
Metabolism basically takes place in the liver.
takes place in the
When you
liver.
use a okay,
When you
let
use
me start from
let me
absorption. When
start
you
from
use
Do
the
you have
drug,
absorption. When you
another
use the
device?
drug,
Do you have another device there? Because it's echoing.
do I have what?
Another device is echoing.
Do I have what?
Another device is
Yeah, I think
echoing.
okay. I think the okay.
Okay.
Um.
Unmute yourself. You muted yourself again.
Okay, I'm on
Unmute
mute here. Can you
yourself.
hear me?
You mute yourself. Yes. Okay. Okay. I hear you. Yes. Continue.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I said that when a drug is administered by any route, it has to move from wherever it's administered from to where it's going to have a physiologic effect. So absorption is how the drug gets from the roots into the blood. From absorption, there's distribution. It goes round the body, and then it goes to metabolism. The liver is the main organ of metabolism. In metabolism, there are two phases, phase 1 and the phase 2. The phase 1 has oxidation, reduction, and that in which the drug is now being either reduced or oxidized to the metabolite that will act as that will produce the physiologic effect. After then, it now goes to the phase 2, where there's glucuronidation with glucuronic acid. There's a catalyzation with glucuronic acid, and that is how it is now broken down into segments in which is now easily, the segments are more water soluble and can be passed out in urine by the kidneys. So that is the main phase that is involved in the excretion that helps the drug to be in an excretable form for the kidneys. And it is that form, that conjugation level in which the glucuronic acid and all that is needed. It is in that stage that the cats, the Felidae family, as a general family, have a problem with naturally. They are deficient in that glucuronic acid that is needed for glucuronidation. So because of that deficiency, you have to make sure that the drugs that we are giving are just, it doesn't, it is not too strong enough for it to now not be able to be excreted. So you just give enough that is needed to carry out that physiologic function and that will now be easily excretable for them. So that's why we don't
He's still battling with Mike. Well, we are able to get pushing. She's still battling with her network. But anyway, we got a lot of things today.
to
And
prevent the acute, and that's what I was trying to explain in the glucuronidation pathway, which is now biochemistry. Okay.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. You are still battling with your network.
Okay. Okay. I'm really sorry. Give me switch this.
And it's still echoing. It's echoing a bit.
Okay. Switch it off completely. Okay. Okay. I think it should be better now.
Yes,
Switch
it's
it off.
better. Yes.
Then completely. Do we have
So
any other questions?
thank you,
Do we have any
Prof.
other question, please? Or do
Thank
we
you,
call
Prof.
it?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
My
Yes.
name is Dr. Beno. I unfortunately I joined late, but again I think it's very helpful. I learned a lot. Again, I just got to the point where you were explaining the metabolic pathways of some of these medications that I use that may have been causing this issue with the Feline family. Again, I think that is the key role of veterinarians as well. I would suggest, because if we already know, like they say, if there's a problem, you know, the pathway for this problem, we already saw 50% of the issue. Again, if we know this, again, we can partner with regulators to make sure that these products, it's the real indication is being specified as well as the dosage level, so that we don't give beyond that particular dose that the kidneys can handle. Otherwise, we may end up having this problem time and time again. And again, if we find out that that drug is not supposed to be given, or is not indicated on that particular species, I think that is the moment we veterinarians should be able to voice out. And I want to make one particular point again. You see, I work for NAFDAC anyway, but I'm not in the veterinary department, so to say. But I believe the veterinarians were part of those who put so much pressure to NAFDAC to create this veterinary directorate. And again, I want to see more participation or more active participation from the veterinary professions, because there are some drugs you may register. Those who are maybe there are may not be veterinarians, so to say. But we need veterinarians who are researching, who are in the research field. You know, pharmacologists who know. The only person that ever contributed sometimes I know, Professor Aliu. I don't know whether it's alive or late. Aliu
It's late. Late.
is fine.
It's late.
Yeah,
Late.
one time he called me, I was suggesting that, look, we don't allow the combination of antibiotics, because these marketers, manufacturers, many of them don't even, all they are looking for is their money. So they combine different antibiotics, and you may find out that some might be antagonistic to another, and they may alter the safety profile of that particular formulation combination. So he could criticize, and I think we took that into consideration. Again, we've limited that. You don't have two combination of antibiotics without justification. Again, we are beginning to, we are seeing multivitamins, antibiotics, everything combined together. We want to see facts, data coming from universities, from faculties of veterinary medicine, to tell us that these things are working or they are not working. Honestly, I want one day to see. Unfortunately, when I started, I was not in the. We fought for the veterinary director to be created in NAFDAC, but unfortunately, I'm not there, because where I created from the beginning, they call it clinical trials. I oversee clinical trials in NAFDAC, and again, I've been trying to see whether I can be posted to that. They refuse. They say if I leave that place, it might collapse. So that is why I feel it. But I want veterinarians on the field, bring contribution. Make the directorate functional. Let it be that we're getting facts, science from
Yeah,
you people out.
yeah, thank you. Dr. Beno, it was our pressure. All these products ending with serine, last serine, new serine, this serine
Yes.
that has multi. I am coming. It is the pressure from the field when I was NVMA president that made them to drop, but they made a fundamental mistake that made them to drop, what do you call it, registering products with antibiotics, with
multivitamins.
with two agents.
Yes.
They're not registered. But now, how about triple sulfur? You know, when you advise them, they will do your advice. They will make some fundamental mistakes somewhere. Triple sulfur as the synergistic sulfonamides for therapy. That one I know in poultry. And Professor Rowola would, there are three in number. But they have everything that has to do with two combinations. They will say they are not registering it, including triple sulfur. And one thing about them, okay, I went to see the director of the VMAP. She told me that this is the last day she will be there. That
Yes.
that had to R, and she's a
Yes.
pharmacist.
So Oga,
what,
you come there, you didn't even check on me.
No, you are not there now. You are not there.
I'm in downstairs now.
Okay, I thought you are in Oshodi. I thought you are in Oshodi.
You that started this encourage us and you've run away. You come, you don't even check on me.
No, Oshodi. I thought you are in Oshodi.
Oga, my office is just down.
Okay, your office that's down is R now.
Oga, I did the floor before the third floor.
Okay, that's no pro. Okay, that's the second floor. Don't worry. You thank God there is a eatery behind that place. So don't worry. I'll eat your money.
You encourage us.
So what I'm saying is
you
that
are part of those. You Agbaton.
You say?
I say you and Agbaton are the key people who put this thing in place.
So I want other people to hear it.
Who put the veterinary director?
Yes, I want you to say it loud and clear. I want you to say it loud and clear. But that's not. I don't impose.
I say you, Dr. Agbaton, you are the one that pushed NAFDAC to create this veterinary directorate in NAFDAC.
Okay. So I'm happy you were part of the meetings. How about that?
I was.
What that Calabar man, that somebody a pharmacist, that we had meeting in Oshedi together. Hello? Email
he's still there.
Email Mana or something
like
that.
Yes, they're still there.
Yes, okay. Anyway, we need to do more. But the only thing is that the more when they carry us along, we give them advice. But when they don't carry us along, what do you do? What do you do?
Okay, you see, Doc, let me come out with you. You see, before
the first
you see, now they've been putting pharmacies. Just now that lady left, now Dr. Mudashira is acting now. So I think you can interface with her. That will really change things as well. But it has been pharmacists. After Dr. Bukar left, it has been pharmacists.
Yeah, we know. And then we frowned at it. But I don't know. Because the idea, what we had fundamentally, and all the memos we put in place is that first, it has to be a vet.
Absolutely.
That will be there. And that's why they brought Bukar, because our vets were not up to the cadre you give such a job. They have to bring Bukar from outside. And after Bukar, it has been pharmacy. But I don't give a damn, because there are things they can't do, because the world is open now. They tried. There's something they tried to do. But Madam, the DG, really, she's a fantastic woman, blocked them.
Yes.
Because they wanted us to go back, whereby we use pharmacies to register their products. But Mr. Deyeye, then he was the president, went and met they were saying that they defeated us in court. We said this is a court of first insistence. We have 2 further courts of insistence. So at that level, they backstepped. But that is not even the issue. There are a lot of things that are supposed to be done that we are not doing. We have MVRI. That was part of our memo. That's part of our card we laid on the table, which they accepted. That all the veterinary drugs will be checked at MVRI. Then NAFDAC will fund MVRI to be checking our products. And then doing, you don't just register a product and then they'll send it to lab, it will work. How about next time it doesn't work? Batch by batch.
You see, Prof, what we've done now, right? We're trying to do create a division whereby you can do, if you want to do like a clinical trials on animals. I've given them I've given them guidance. One Dr. Adeza is there. He came to me, we'll start for a whole day. I put him through. Maybe he's trying to put up documents. The issue of MVRI, I think I can be able to discuss that one-on-one with you. There are issues, and we've tried to, Bukar and myself, we tried to help them, but we didn't see anything forthcoming. Sir, you know they've been manufacturing a veterinary vaccine for Tammy Memorial. We encourage them, come, let's put these things together and register. To be honest, when we got there, We didn't believe in it. We told them, Bukola has been, even when Bukola is out of NAFDAC, he told them, come, let's see, we put ourselves together. Let's go and guide you on how to do your good manufacturing practice. But till today, DG has even pulled them together. Even this vaccine they are talking about, COVID vaccine, Lassa fever vaccine, the former community DG insisted, because of the experience of manufacturing, let NVRI be there. But many of the meetings, they don't come. The frustration is even on DG. There's no meeting they will talk of manufacturing of vaccine that DG NAFDA